Um, no, it's a spoiler. Oh, you know what I was gonna say. Dang it! Shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh. Gotta hide my blue on blue ensemble. I don't think I tell you guys about them till the end. I don't know how to vlog. I'm going to be doing oh, my phone's ringing. Hello? Hello? You're fine. Yeah. Yeah, no tomato. Bye. Getting my lunch order. Truly blessed. Okay. What was it? Whatever. Next up. I'm saying a lot. Really hot. So the time has come to start the readathon. So, to be completely honest, it is Sunday afternoon. So I'm starting just a little bit early. I have no great excuse, but I'm going to give one. I work 2 jobs. So, and I work every day this week. I work probably like 60 hours, 55 hours maybe. So I work all day tomorrow from like 9 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, which is Monday, which is when it starts. So I wanted to be able to have a chance to start off somewhat strong. I'm feeling really guilty about it if you can't tell. Yeah, so I'm going to start a few hours early. I'm not 100% sure what I want to start with. Part of me wants to start with The Thief, mainly because it's light, like physically, and I'm really tired, and I kind of want to lay down while I read, but I think I'll fall asleep. Also, kind of want to start The Electric State, because I think I could get pretty far into it, and it's heavy, so it'll make me sit up and read it. It's like prime napping time. I'm trying to not go to sleep. I'm also really excited to start The City of Brass. I'm gonna need to pick one to carry around with me because I want, this is kind of heavy, but I feel like this is gonna be the one I'm reading throughout the week. It's over 500 pages, so I actually think it looks quite a bit longer than that, but it's only 500 pages. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read The Electric State. I should be able to maybe read it all. My husband's making dinner tonight. I'm having an afternoon snack of a Sonic Blast leftover from yesterday. Should be a nice time. I will check in soon, maybe. Okay, so this is the very, very first little page in The Electric State. The war had been fought and won by drone pilots. Men and women in control rooms far from the battlefields, where unmanned machines fought each other in a strategy game played over 7 years. The pilots of the Federal Army had lived a good life in brand new suburbs where they could choose from 30 kinds of cereal on their way home from work. The drone technology was praised because it spared us meaningless loss of life. The collateral damage was of 2 kinds. The civilians unfortunate enough to be caught in the crossfire, and the children of the federal pilots who, as a concession to the godheads of defense technology, were all stillborn. Strong start. I also kind of feel like I'm reading a kid's picture book, but with really morbid subject matter. I'll just like turn the huge page and there's this like pretty picture, and then you realize it's like corpses. Okay, so I'm actually on my phone for a second because my camera is really heavy. I was like thinking about that line or that little passage I read, and it's so I don't really know anything yet. I'm like 2 pages after that. But the idea of like all these people laying dead, as I showed in some of the pictures. I'm actually on the page of the picture I showed in one of my videos. Just like the idea that there's people laying dead like that, and then the pilots who ran those machines or whatever it talked about are like in bougie homes with whatever they want. It's just crazy, and these people are just like laying everywhere. I finished it in, I can't see what time it is, an hour and a half maybe. It was great. As soon as I finished it, I went and looked through a bunch of like reviews to see what people thought of the end. And one of the reviews I read said that the story picks up with increasing speed, and that's so true. At first I was like, what is this world? And then by the end I literally was like flipping pages so fast. So loved it. I'll do more in-depth reviews near the end of the week, but I loved it, and I'm feeling good that my first book is done. Also, I have a canker sore. I don't know if you guys have heard of those. They come from stress. And I have one on the tip of my tongue, so I'm talking just a little bit funny. But, Nan Granger just hanging. Oh. She's not interested. Oh, easy girl. Now I gotta figure out what to read next. I just definitely have 2 books that are coming out on top here. The Thief and the City of Brass. I don't know. Okay, let me just start with this, and then I'll decide where to go from there. Okay, so there is 14 chapters in The Great Divorce, and I just read 2. So if I read 2 every day, I'll finish it in time. And it's okay. I feel like this is a book you have to read like 6 times to understand like all the imagery and stuff, but I should be fine. And I can handle 2 chapters a day. I almost dropped my camera on my cat. Oh, that was a close one, buddy. Wasn't it? So I've showered. I'm nice and refreshed. It is 8:30-ish. We're starting the City of Brass. I think I'm just more excited, and that's just how I need to do this readathon is read what I'm excited about at the time, because if I'm reading only to complete books, I'll lose my momentum. So let's see. Okay, so I'm 2 pages in, 2 paragraphs in, and there's a lot to remember. I sometimes forget that high fantasy is intricate. So there's like 6 tribes of the Jinn, which means I have to remember all of them. I can do it. One thing I forgot to say, the main character Nari is so awesome and strong and brave and smart and wonderful. We have cats, so half of our blinds look like this. Just let it happen. This society that she's in is like so oppressive to women, and she's still awesome. I'm so impressed with her. She's so wonderful. I love her. I meant to say, throughout this whole vlog, you're going to hear my husband, because he's a Twitch streamer and he plays D&D with his friends online, so he's loud. But at 20 pages in, I love this. I love this so much. It's easy to read. It's interesting. The main character is lovable. The story, like, I think it's kind of just starting. I mean, 20 pages in. But even like the little setup is awesome. I've enjoyed every part of it. The beginning was a little bit intimidating because I got a lot of facts right away. And that was like almost like the preface. It wasn't even like a numbered page. Like what I read about the 6 tribes of the Jinn. I'm so excited. I'm so glad it's good. I mean, like I knew it was going to be good. But now I'm like, for sure, it's good. I'm going to try to read. I need to read like 30 more pages. No. 60 more pages. I'm going to try to read 30. What do you think, Huck? Good morning. I think the last time I checked in was Sunday at some point. I think it was Sunday night. I did not read, I maybe read like 3 pages on Monday. That was technically like not a reading day, so I didn't really make it a priority, and I also just didn't have time. Here is my update so far. I am pretty excited. Today could derail a little bit because I, again, don't have much time. I have a few hours this morning, so I need to decide what I'm going to do. So last I checked in, I had finished The Electric State. Again, loved it so much. I also have finished The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner. I loved this book so much. So much. It was just delightful. I actually ended up finding it on audiobook on Scribd. Thank you, Gabby, for letting me use your account. I needed to read 250 pages every day, and I'm so excited that I actually have. So I'm not behind yet. Again, today will make me behind, but here is what is left. I started The City of Brass, and I'm loving it. It's moving so fast. I'm only on page 40, so I have quite a bit to go in this, but I absolutely love it. It's on Scribd as well. I really want to read this one. I may need to listen to it. I'm really missing My Favorite Murder. That was like what I listened to, but at least these books are great. So I'm really excited to get this one. I'm pretty sure I'll finish it just because I'm loving it so much. And it just like, we are already like off on the adventure by page 40. So I really appreciate that for sure. I've also started The Great Divorce. I needed to read 2 chapters every day to finish it. I'm 2 chapters behind, but I'm not behind on my page count. So that's all that really matters. So this one's also on Scribd, but I know for 100% fact that if I listen to it on audiobook, I'm not going to listen. It's just going to, and that feels like cheating. So those 4 are my main goal because between all 4 of those, it meets every prompt on the Backlist Readathon, like prompt thing. But I have like a stretch goal, which would mean every prompt gets its own book. And that is The Bear and the Nightingale and Release. I haven't checked if Release is on audiobook. I'm going to check really quick, but I know for a fact that this one is not, which means I probably won't get to it, which is so sad. If I were to get to one of these, I would make this one a priority because I'm more excited about this. This one is more realistically finished though. What's the page count? 265 and, well, 300. So I don't know. This one might be a little easier to read because it's young adult, but I'm going to check if this is on audiobook really quick. Sorry, on Scribd, not on audiobook. It obviously probably has an audiobook. Ah! It's on audiobook. I don't know that I'll make this audiobook a priority though. I feel like I need to make The City of Brass audiobook a priority. I'm so happy it's on there. So The Thief was on there, The Great Divorce is on there, The City of Brass is on there, and Release is on there. That's freaking awesome. So excited. Okay, so that is my check-in. I don't have to work my second job tomorrow night, so I'm pretty excited. And I'll get to read a lot. And then I work Friday and Saturday, but only 4-hour shifts, I think. So, and then I have Sunday. Oh my word. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling really encouraged for where I'm at this point. Now I'm going to read for a little bit. Right, Granger? Come here. People want to see you because you're so cute. This is Granger. She doesn't like being held. She's really cute though. Okay. You can go. Good morning. Per usual, my cat is loudly playing. It's a different cat this time. It's Friday morning. The world has started going a little crazy because of coronavirus. But that did not derail me. And I finished The City of Brass. I'm shocked that I finished it. This was the book that intimidated me. That was the prompt. My timer's gonna go off when my coffee's ready. So I'm so excited. I'm definitely gonna spill it. Okay, so I have my coffee now, so I'm good. I don't think I can drink it. Really hot. Okay, I absolutely loved this. I think I already said that. I didn't want to put it down. I feel like I'll be thinking about this book forever. I loved the characters, the plot, like so much happened. I was getting near the end and I was like, how are there 2 more books? Like, what else is gonna happen? So many things happen. Like, sometimes in books, really just 1 or 2 things happen. You're like, oh, we spent the whole book doing that. It was so amazing, and I'm so glad I have the second one. I'll probably read that along with, I bought the second one in this series too. Those are going to be in my next TBR for sure because I love them both. Honestly, I killed it in my selection for what to read for this readathon. The only one that I still really don't want to read is The Great Divorce. But I mean, all 3 of these have been like my favorite books of the year so far. I mean, they don't have much competition, but I mean, this is going to remain at the very top, as will The Thief, I'm sure. So I'm doing it. So last up is going to be these 3. So we have The Bear and the Nightingale, Release, and The Great Divorce. I'm going to put off The Great Divorce until the end. I just am. So it's between Release and The Bear and the Nightingale. I might read these kind of simultaneously. The audiobook of Release is available on Scribd. I'm going to be doing a little bit of driving tomorrow, and I bet it's not a very long audiobook. Oh my word, there's so many blank pages. It's like it has pages in it, and look at that. Oh my goodness. So I don't think it'll take me very long to read, but this is one I'm gonna have to sit and read, and I have some of today to do that and Sunday to do that. So that's what I'll do. This will be my Saturday book and my doing things book, so I'll listen to it when I'm doing things. And then today and Sunday I'll read these 2 books, and I might finish all of these. I have 3 whole days left. I needed this win, you guys. I needed it. So even if I don't finish these at all, I'm super pleased with what I did read. So, but I'm sure I'll finish at least 1 more book. As I said, the world has gone a little bit crazy in the last day or so. This is so hot. I want to drink it. I have a headache. But a lot of my work stuff has gotten canceled. I work at a church, and so we have Sunday morning stuff, we have Wednesday night stuff, and then Sunday night stuff. So stuff throughout the weekend, all of that is getting canceled. But I'm supposed to teach this Sunday morning, so I have to record my teaching. Okay, first of all, oh, I forgot my books. I want to go back home to my father. I want to go back home to my father's house and say, "Ring the ring, the son of son." And he approached the house. And as he approached the house, the son, he decides to return home, and he decides to Oh my word. When he realizes they got that spot, the main character in the play. They got the starting, I don't know how sports work. So one of the things that we see here, one of the things we're taught here in this, one of the things, I encourage you all to think through this story. Think about who you relate with most in the story. Think about, so that's what I have for y'all this morning. Wash your hands. Hello. I Zoom. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. I just had the longest day. Okay. My husband's playing video games, so he'll be talking. But, still Friday. The video I was working on for work took me literally all day. It is 7:18. I mean, I obviously showered, so I probably finished it an hour ago, and I started working on it around 10:30 maybe. So my day off didn't really happen, but also I have some time off this next week, so because of coronavirus. So I promise I'm not going to talk about coronavirus like the whole time. Also, I want to mention I do have other clothes than this. Just so you know. I'm about to read The Bear and the Nightingale. I read the first chapter. Oh, so hard to think of. And I really, really liked it. I also found a bookmark that matched it. I can't remember if it's Alchemy and Ink or Nerdy Post. I feel like it's Alchemy and Ink. But yeah, so I'm really excited. And it matches the book perfectly. So small victories. But I'm about to read for a little bit. To stay on track, I technically need to read this whole book. Almost the whole book. That's not going to happen. It sucks because today was like my only like day that I had the whole day free. But that's okay. But hey, I have the night. I have water. I have a small bag of chips that I can't reach. So it'll still be a good night. You know? I'll get some reading done. Alright, so it is Saturday afternoon. It's been quite a day. I worked at Madewell this morning, and then my car would not start, and then someone got it to start, and then we couldn't get it started again, and so now it's just sitting in the parking lot. Y'all, my husband's talking. Sorry. Man, coronavirus, car won't start, my cruise got canceled, all kinds of things. I hardly read last night. Our cruise got canceled, and I was just wildly devastated. We've been so looking forward to it, but I'm glad, I really am glad that the necessary precautions are being taken because it's necessary. Just a little bummed. Also, my readathon has been a tiny bit derailed because I had said that The Great Divorce and Release were on Scribd for an audiobook, and now they're not. Part of me wants to read these two since they're the shortest, and I'll be able to more easily accomplish them to add them to my readathon list. I want to read this one, and at this point I've had all 5-star reads, and I'm almost certain this will also be 5 stars, so I'm gonna read what I want to read. I have killed it this week, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna reward myself with reading quality versus quantity. Even though they're probably quality too, this is what I want. So this is what I'm gonna be working on today and probably tomorrow. If I have time tomorrow, I think I'll read. I don't know. That's future Cassie's decision because I don't know. Who knows? I only ever read 2 chapters. And I know I said I was going to read 2 chapters a day. It didn't happen. Okay. Let's get to it. All right. So, y'all, I cannot read. It is Sunday morning. Had a little check-in last night. Said what I was gonna do. I didn't do it. All I want to be doing is reading stuff about coronavirus. So today is the last day, and I would love to finish The Bear and the Nightingale. I don't know if I will. I don't think I'm gonna. The gold foil on it kind of has like an ombre. It's like darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. I think. I don't know if I'll finish it today. I also don't really want to like speed through it because I really think I'm gonna love it. So I do have all day though. All day. I'll have to stop and eat, but that's kind of it. So we'll see. I'm gonna start it now. I'm drinking my coffee and hopefully I don't turn on the TV and be on my phone because that's what's been happening. There's just so much going on in the world. I'm so distracted. I turned on the TV last night for like the first time this readathon, besides watching a few things with my husband while we ate dinner, but it was so nice to just sit there and be able to zone out. I'm tired. But here we go. I'm gonna read The Bear and the Nightingale. Hopefully I can get it done, but if I don't, again, I've said it before, I'm so pleased with what I actually completed that it's fine if I don't finish it. Okay, I'm for real gonna do it. Okay, wow. So today is Thursday, March 19th. I haven't been able to do my like wrap up. It's insane. The world is insane. Everything's crazy. I just had my first week working from home and it's been different, but I like being home, but I'm also like, what's happening? As most of you can probably relate. So let me do my wrap up. I obviously near the end was having a ton of difficulty reading, and that held through, you know, pretty much the whole rest of the time. So I'm just gonna like wrap it up, talk a little bit about the books I finished. Part of the reason that I'm like a little bit delayed doing this is my computer is completely full, like the memory is completely full, or the hard drive or whatever. So I ordered an external hard drive, so it'll be here tomorrow, and finally I can film again and edit. So this is gonna be quite late, but you know what? The world's going crazy right now, so it's okay. All right, so just a quick overview. I was supposed to read 6 books. I started off super strong, finished a very large book. My TBR from the very beginning was just a bit, I mean, it was a lot. If I would have continued on the same track that I was on at the beginning, I would have finished all of them. But that did not happen. I'll say just right off the bat to get these just out of the way, I did not finish The Great Divorce, and I didn't even start Release. I hope to read Release for sure. I'm sure someday I'll read The Great Divorce. It's just, I need some escapism, you know? So these did not happen, but they will happen someday, and I'm okay with that, you know? I'm okay that I didn't finish them. I thought I'd be really down on myself, but I'm not, because I did awesome, you know? I'm just gonna say it. Okay, so now let's pick up where I kind of left off earlier. with The Bear and the Nightingale. So I did not finish this. I got to page 44. I'm loving it. I am glad that I paused on it or didn't rush through it, because I don't want to rush through it. I'm really, really loving it. I like the characters already. The Russian folklore inspired books that I've read in the past have, they've kind of followed a singular storyline, a singular character. Deathless did it. Spinning Silver basically did it. I'm trying to just think, I don't remember what other ones I have, but you know from the beginning that you're going to be following this character, Vasilisa. I don't know how to say it. I probably said it wrong. You know you're going to be following her, and I'm pretty sure the trilogy is about her, but right now she's still like a little kid. I'm on chapter 6, and right now we're with her dad and her brothers. So it's kind of branching off with these other little stories before we even get to the main one, which kind of sounds like it wouldn't be great, but it's really awesome. You learn about her mom. You know from the beginning that her dad remarries, and so like right now he's looking for that woman. It's just nice. You're getting all this background, and just kind of like an epic fantasy would. I've just never seen that in a folklore inspired book. Especially the one that's so obviously folklore inspired, and I love it. I think it's going to be amazing. I will be continuing to read this one this week because it's awesome. Okay, so I'm not really remembering what I said about all the books that I ended up finishing, so I'll try to cut out the parts that are repeats, but I'm just gonna go for it. The first book I finished, I believe, this was like over a week ago now, was The Electric State by Simon Stålenhag. I loved it. It was a pretty quick read. It actually, I mean, for being like a book that's largely illustrations, it took me a little longer than I thought it would. But still, it was like in one sitting, in one night, while my husband cooked dinner, so, which is nice. I really, really liked it. It was different than I thought it was going to be, and it like ended up creating this larger overall narrative than I expected. A lot of what happens, you kind of have to sort of put it together in your head or assume things, which is interesting. I'd be interested to hear from someone else who's read this, to see kind of what they thought about different things. Cause not, what am I trying to say? It's not super explicit about what actually happens or what happened or what is going to happen. Again, I really enjoyed it. If you don't love, I don't know if this is a spoiler. People say this kind of thing all the time. If you don't love open-ended endings, you might be left a little bit unsatisfied, but it's awesome. I loved it. I'll likely read this again someday. Thank you to my stepbrother Josh for getting me this for Christmas, because it's awesome. I'm also just loving all the pink. The pink! So, I rated this 5 stars. Man, I'm like getting so comfy on this chair, like, this is not a professional video. I mean, next up was The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner. I listened to this largely on audiobook, and then near the end I stopped listening to the audiobook so I could read the rest of it. I've learned that if I listen to the first book of a series on audiobook, it's really weird for me to pick up the second book physically for some reason. It's like I'm just used to how it was before. It like kind of throws me off a little bit and takes more getting used to, or like can feel like I'm reading a completely different book. That still might happen with the second book, which but I hope not. I listened to it at work on two times speed, how do you say that? 2 times speed? And when I could, I read along with it. I found that somehow I can read faster than double time speed. I think it's because I don't take as big of breaks between sentences. Like punctuation marks in audiobooks last like 4 seconds. It's too much. I thoroughly love this book 100%. Like I said, I read the last little bit without the audiobook. And I was like, you know how you get to those books where something's about to happen and you're like blocking the words? Does anyone else do that? You block it so you don't jump ahead to see what's gonna happen because you're so like tense and anticipating something. That happened with this book, which was fun. It was just a good old fantasy adventure book. Felt a little bit like a D&D campaign, like you have this thing that you're trying to get to, and then blah, 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 blah. Like they had a quest. The characters are lively. It was so funny. So when I started listening to this book, I was at work and I was working on things, and so I kept finding myself zoning out and not paying attention to the book, but paying attention to what I was supposed to be doing, which is good. But it took me, I was probably about 100 pages in when I realized that our main character was traveling with 4 people and not 3. So there's like the Magus and then 3 other people. I thought, there's this guy named Pol, P-O-L. I thought the Magus's name was Pol. So I was like, it took me until there was a conversation between the two that I was like, what? So that was a little bit of a stumbling block for me. But yeah, I loved it so much. It's pretty fast paced. And there's not too much of like an info dump at the beginning. You kind of just are learning the world as you like are going through it, and they kind of tell it a little bit through like folklore, different tales that they've heard growing up as kids, and they've kind of heard 2 different tales because they grew up a little bit differently. So yeah, it was interesting to learn about the world in that way. Sometimes when things are told through like dreams or old folklore and stuff, I can get a little bored personally, but they were like short enough that I feel like the story kept moving. It's so good. This is a young adult fantasy. It's about 300 pages. Yeah, a little less than 300 pages. Highly recommend it. It is part of a series, the Queen's Thief series. So I did get the second one in the mail. So I'm going to be reading this during our little social distancing thing we're doing. So yeah, this along with The Bear and the Nightingale is on my reading list for the immediate future. 5 stars. I don't know if I said that. And lastly, right? This is lastly? Yeah. I finished The City of Brass. It's just so good, you guys. Okay, so I also listened to 75% of this on audiobook. It's on Scribd as well as The Thief. They're both on Scribd. Oh my word. It was unlike anything I've read before. I think I said this before. I've only ever read one other book that's in like a Middle Eastern setting. This one, they were both good. This is just, I mean, like an epic fantasy told in like not a medieval landscape, you know, like we're used to like, I don't know, like The Name of the Wind. Like when I think of Lord of the Rings, you know, they're like very similar settings. This was, I feel like it was similar in time period. What am I trying to say? Like there wasn't indoor plumbing and there's not grocery stores, you know, it's like, it is like a fantasy setting. I don't think that makes sense, but that's okay. It was epic. I loved the characters. You follow 2 perspectives, which I didn't realize until I got a little bit into it, because the back just totally talks about Nari, the main character, but there is a second main character named Ali. And his story is really interesting too, and of course the stories eventually come together. The characters were lovable, and there were times when you were like, I like you, but I don't want to. Oh wait, I don't like you anymore. Oh yeah, but I still do. It was like that kind of tension. It was everything that I wanted it to be and more. I'd heard good things about it, but it's just really obviously awesome to experience it yourself. Again, I was listening to the audiobook while I was working, and I missed a few world building things. There are like 6 different, how do you say it, tribes of the jinn, and there's still a few things I'm fuzzy on, but I had to figure out who liked who was whose mortal enemy, who agreed with who, what they believe. So that was a little bit hard for me just because I wasn't 100% focused on it. Because with an audiobook, you can't really like reread or go back a few pages and find a specific thing, which I typically do, especially in books that are building a whole new world for me. I have to reread a few things. The narrator was awesome though. I really loved her. Her voice is so clear and like beautiful. So highly recommend this. It was just unlike anything I've ever experienced. I did read in one of my videos that the back of it says that by Sabaa Tahir, she said it was the best adult fantasy she's read since The Name of the Wind. And honestly, it's about on par for The Name of the Wind for me. I love The Name of the Wind, and I mean, I guess I would say that I don't even know if I'd say it's better. I love that medieval type kind of thing. Like, it feels like you're in a D&D campaign. I just really like that. I don't know why. If I didn't have that particular thing that I liked more, I mean, this is in the same category. It's The Name of the Wind for sure, but they're totally different. But there's like epic adventures, and oh, I just loved it. So obviously, I'm starting The Kingdom of Copper as well. These covers, man. This is actually the ARC. So I'm debating on going ahead and just buying the final edition. I just don't know. I just don't really want to spend the money if I don't have to. So I might see if there's any resources online for seeing if the ARC is different from the final edition. I keep hearing things. This house is so old and creaky. So yeah, I'm so excited. So that is my backlist readathon. Again, it didn't quite go how I thought it would go at the beginning. But I'm still just like thrilled that it went the way it went. And now I have a very clear TBR for the rest of March. Maybe I can finish them. I mean, if I can finish The City of Brass in 2 days, I can read these 3 books in 2 weeks during a quarantine. So I hope y'all are staying safe and healthy and not freaking out too much. I hope you have toilet paper. We're actually about out, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, y'all stay safe, happy reading, and I will see you later. Bye.